Hey guys, it's 101R Smith, also known as Reggie Smith, bringing you guys another review, this time of the Master Grade Gundam Ez8. The box art I find to be a bit simple and very reminiscent of early Master Grades. I feel that it really doesn't have a lot going for itself. It just looks like a Photoshop of the Ez8 in a goof custom. Not really anything special or stand out, but for its time, it's gonna fit in pretty well. Once you build the Ez8 up, the overall look to me is a bit disappointing. I find that the proportions are a bit out of whack. I feel that the Ez8 overall is just a little bit too short. I find that the arms and the legs aren't proportioned to the rest of the body. The head is a little bit too big for itself. And overall, I don't feel that it matches up quite well next to the RX-78. Now, the Ez8, and by extension the Ground Gundam, is supposed to be a variant of the RX-78, so I was expecting it to have RX-78 type of proportions and the overall aesthetics to match up with each other pretty well. I just don't think it looks pretty good, and I'm gonna have to give the overall look of the Master Grade Ez8 a 6 out of 10. The articulation of the Ez8 matches well with the proportions and the overall look. It's very passable, but not very special or not very endearing to its time. You get a pretty good elbow joints due to the fact that any elbows are a screw, so you're going to get a tightness and stiffness. The arms can only go about perpendicular to each other. The head is pretty much more or less stationary. You can get side to side, but if you were trying to pass its collar, the chin pieces of it is just going to fall off. The legs, they do have a little bit of a gear switch where you can push them front or back, and it works okay, but it leaves it to be very rocky. With the legs, you do get a double jointed knee joint. However, due to it being made of a polycap, you're going to stress out the polycap if you were to try to really push the ankles and the knees. And in terms of the ankles, there's no foot articulation what to speak of. There's no toes, there's no up to down. The feet are one solid piece. I happen to find that this is a very disappointing articulation, and I'm only going to have to give this a 5.5 out of 10. I will say that the accessories are probably its strongest suit. However, there are a few drawbacks. So with the Ez8, you're going to get pretty much every single weapon that the Ez8 has. For example, you're going to get your average beam sabers, you're going to get a beam rifle, you're going to get a machine gun, you're going to get the rocket launcher, as well you're going to get the backpack where you can put the rocket launcher into pieces. And it works pretty well. However, there are some slight issues that I have with a good chunk of these accessories. For example, a lot of them aren't color accurate, and you are going to have to paint this Gundam. The gun should be a mix between a sandy brown and a white with the gray. However, Bandai only gives you these pieces in gray, and to turn a dark piece into a white at times can be very difficult even with primer. So it's disappointing to see the inaccuracies of the kit. However, because there is a plethora, I have to give the accessories about a very generous 7 out of 10. I would say that there is a lot of fun to be had with the Ez8 Gundam. One of the gimmicks that I love most about the Gundam is that you're able to take the beam saber hilts and store them with the shins of the Ez8, and it pops out really well. Those are one of the gimmicks I love about the Ez8. As well with the rocket launcher, as stated before, it comes with the backpack. So what you could do is piece together the backpack and then take apart the rocket launcher, put it together or put it separately, and then just store it inside of the backpack, which, if you really think about it in a realistic world, that really works well with the groundedness of the 8th MS team. And it's pretty cool that Bandai allowed you to create that realness within this kit. Also, another part about the Ez8 I like is that you can use the shield as a bit of a prop to hold up with any of the beam rifles or the machine gun. And I would say just the accessories of itself, especially if you have the goof custom next to it, you can create a lot of famous battles from the 8th MS team. So I will give the fun factor of Ez8 a 7 out of 10. My final thoughts on the Ez8 Gundam is that while there were some things in this kit that were done well, it could be done a lot better. As stated before, I don't find that the Ez8 Master Grade matches up very well with its anime model. I was expecting it again to have proportions appropriate to the RX-78 since it's part of the RX-78 lineage. I think just overall it looks too short, fat, and stubby. The accessories are decent enough by itself, but again, there are a lot of color inaccuracies that you, the builder, are going to have to add in order to get the accurate version of those weapons. Some of the weapons don't hold very well because this is early Master Grade and they don't have any pegs. So your luck in order to use them is purely make sure the grip on the weapons is tight and don't let gravity kick you in the ass. Even the transfer stickers on this thing don't work well. There are a few essential dry transfer stickers that you need to apply, but for me, some of them didn't work out, and I want to chalk it up to age because I don't know how long that kit was sitting up on the shelf. But remember, this kit is almost 18 years old. So I just feel it just doesn't work. And going back to that, there's a lot of color inaccuracies, such as the chin. The chin piece is supposed to be red. I had to change that with a red Gundam marker. And even the chin piece doesn't stay well if it gets bumped by anything. You have to glue both antennas onto the head of the Ez8. No, I don't mean just you plug it in. You actually have to glue them together. And one of them broke off because it was just so flimsy. Overall, if you really want a Master Grade or even a 1/100 of the Ez8, this is your only option. There's no 2.0, there's no Verka. This is it. But I will say that if you had the choice between the Master Grade and the High Grade, I'm going to say go with the High Grade. The High Grade, I feel, has better proportions, better stickers, better detail, and even more accessories such as the parachute. I just think that the Ez8 High Grade is overall the better version, and we just came out with the Ground Gundam Revive, so it should match up with each other very well. I do think that for its age, Ez8 is a decent to good Gundam, but it just lines up with the Alexes and the GPLs where it really needs a Revive 2.0, Verka, something. It just can't really work on its own. And I just think, as a modern day Master Grade builder, you could do a bit better, but if you have the nostalgia like I do, go for it. This kit won't exactly blow your mind, but it's a nice niche item to have. This is 101R Smith, and I will see you later.